Hello, fellow walkers. Hello, hey Mitch. You're already spamming the new emoji, the new emotes, the worthy ones. Absolutely, this is a worthy ones stream. So welcome everybody, and so today we'll do probably a Kaldheim draft. Probably a Kaldheim draft. Oh, Mitch, damn! Thank you for the subscription. You really don't need to. You know that. You already helped me so much. Jesus, thanks a lot. That's really appreciated, man. So yeah, today Kaldheim draft. Probably a draft. If we have enough people around. Oh Jesus, you're on a killing spree, man. Thank you. Damn, you're really kind. Thank you. So yeah, Kaldheim draft, depending on how many people we have on the stream, we might actually make a poll deciding on whether a sealed or a draft and whether best of one or best of three. But even before that, we'll review an article on sealed strategy, because again, tournaments are coming up, and I think there's no better chance than right now to brush up on a few concepts, because as the author of today's article discusses, sealed has a huge spectrum of ability to play it, of how far you can improve on playing sealed, because typically sealed is like the first format that everyone plays because they go to a pre-release or something. Not nowadays, because people just install Magic Arena and start jamming some matches, some standard matches with those crappy decks. Nap time, oh for sure. Oh, nap time. I would actually appreciate some nap time right now. Thank you, Mitch, for everything that you do, for the subscriptions, but really for everything else that you do. It's really appreciated. So yeah, now for introductions. So I'm Diogo, and if you don't know me, I'm on this journey to improve in Magic as well as in life. And my goal is really to share the journey with all of you, to have you on board and walk the walk with all of you. During my streams, besides gameplay, we'll be reviewing several level up articles, some strategies and so on, focusing on being a beginner friendly. Some stuff will definitely be advanced, but I believe everyone can take something away of it because of all the examples that we do and everything else. We'll also try to apply those to specific gameplay. So I'm a true believer on deliberate practice, and a key thing for deliberate practice is really to practice what you preach, what you study, right? Put that into practice, in a conscious way, consciously putting the effort into learning it, because that's the way you can commit those learning experiences into your intuition. On a high stakes tournament where a huge pile of money or your reputation is on the line, that's like a fighting match. I did some fighting competitions back in the day, and it's really stressful, and if you don't have the kicks and the punches well ingrained into your intuitive arsenal, you won't be doing anything really. And it's also important that these articles or these strategies that we will be reviewing, we will also try to draw parallels against day-to-day decision making, right? That's really a goal. So besides on Twitch, which you already are here, you can also follow me on YouTube. I have a channel where I post the recordings, the VODs of my streams, and probably some specific content in the future. I'm also on Twitter and on Instagram. You can also find me via the links provided everywhere. If you're on YouTube, welcome to my channel, and I hope you stick around. And you feel free to subscribe, to leave a comment. I will make sure to reply, and all that good stuff. So moving on, let's jump into the article, shall we? So this is the article for today. Easy to start, hard to master. The ultimate guide to sealed. This is this is an article from 2019, so relatively recent in Magic years, written by Pascal Vieren. The author seems to have performed quite well on sealed tournaments. And so he puts here a lot of effort into this article. These are generic strategy that is applied to every sealed event that you might be participating, with a bit of effort, with a bit of focus on paper tournaments, of course, because, well, I guess in 2019 those were more common. But yeah, there's a lot of juice in this article for sure. I actually found it just like three hours ago while I was reading a different one, more focused on Kaldheim. And the one on Kaldheim, you can actually track. I typically share this more specific stuff on my Discord. You can find the link via the Discord command. So let's jump right in. Sealed is one of those formats that, at least for me, that it was probably the first competitive format that I've played, because of pre-releases, right? You typically go there and it's like the lowest barrier of entry. You get 6 packs and you start jamming. You just start jamming. But there's a lot of depth that you can put. It's not as simple as you have a pre-made recipe that is applicable to every single set. And there are high payoffs from preparing well for a sealed event. Either because you know how to best answer the typical bombs, either you are already able to understand if games will go long, and so on. Yeah, these are just some. As always, you can take a look into the articles via the articles command that is available on your chat. Yeah, it's already updated with this article, and okay, so let's start then breaking things down. Sealed is composed by 2 parts. You build a deck out of those 6 booster drafts, and you actually play the games, right? So there are 2 components that you should take into account, that you should try to combine into a single cohesive plan. Let's start by discussing a bit the gameplay then. The metagame, I mean. The metagame is, as you probably are already aware, it's like the game outside the game, right? It's all the kind of decision points, decisions that you can take outside the battlefield itself. Right? Either your deck of choice, more specifically to sealed, what kind of cards are you valuing? Are you expecting to have long games, short games, go more aggro? Is aggro favored? Typically not. So all of that stuff is metagame. There's actually another component. Yes, of course, these metagames, how you study metagame and your metagame analysis and decisions all seek to improve your chances to actually win, to win the actual matches, right? but metagaming goes beyond those limits. For example, if you know that your opponent is someone that does not really value combat tricks, or if it's someone that is typically underprepared for bombs with removal and other answers in sealed, that's also information that you can use. That's part of your toolbox, let's say. And there are actually a few items here that I will try to include into the spreadsheet, the limited spreadsheet that I'm building. These are just a few questions that can drive your study before jumping into a sealed event. So how many turns do I expect a game to last in this format? Typically in Kaldheim, it looks like Kaldheim sealed. It looks like it's around 9 turns. For example, let's see here. Where is it? Sealed Kaldheim. It's actually a bit faster. A tad considerably slower than the draft format that you can see here. Let me just put this a bit bigger. So these are the draft formats. You see that they average at around 9.2, 9.3 turns. And in Kaldheim, in sealed, you get an average of 9.7. So actually closer to 10 turns. By the way, on Thursday, if everything goes according to plan, we will be reviewing just a few of these 17 lands resources that are available that can inform your decisions during the Arena Open on the weekend. And again, I'm also studying these things just now. Again, I found this article this morning. I'm using. There's no better way to learn a subject than try to teach it, right? So that's a strategy that I try to employ as much as possible. And as a way for me to grow, and as a way for helping others to grow. Moving on. What causes a game to end? There are very strong bombs in Kaldheim, for sure. You will often lose a game for them, so you should be prepared. But there's also a lot of grinding, right? There are a lot of small advantages and being able to control your opponent, not through the common tools for control, or at least the common tools that you the kind of draw-go control, but more of the type of tap out control. Are early drops relevant in this format? Actually, not really. There's a lot of stuff that you can typically do on your early turns. There's not that much support for an aggro strategy because it's for the most part supported by red-white, and if you don't have a big enough pool of sheep creatures of those two colors, it will be really hard for you to build a cohesive deck. Black is also works well in a Rakdos deck, but if it's typically already hard for a sealed pool deck to be aggro, it seems to be even harder on Kaldheim. But if you can, that's definitely a way, because your opponents will be foretelling stuff. They will be playing mana fixing spells, low relevant stuff up until turn 3, and sometimes inclusive turn 3. Is it important to do something in the early turns? It is definitely important to do something up until turn 3, otherwise you might get run out, or at least have the possibility of doing. Otherwise you might end up being run over by aggro decks. Are there enough ways to keep spending mana in this format? So here we need to think about mana sinks, and particularly to the set Equipment, Boast, There's also a few dynamically costed cards, I believe, or at least Nico Harris. I'm not recalling anything else, but the foretell cards also give you some flexibility between playing them right now or foretelling and playing them later, right? Do both players usually cast all their cards, or does the game usually end with cards left in hand? Definitely the first one. Because again, there's a lot of flexibility in you playing your spells. Even your 6 drops might end up being 4 drops because of foretell. What's the average size of creatures? So a relevant number to keep in mind here is from 4 toughness up, your creatures start to be considered resilient. So are already bulky enough to take a beating. Lower than that, it's very typical to have 3/2s, whatever, 2 X2s, generally speaking. A few cards have 3 toughness, but those are the typical creatures. So you still want ways to potentially take out those creatures, like deal 3 damage, like way down and removal of the swords. But you also want to have ways like more and removal that is a bit more unconditional. Of course, the internet is full of people creating content, and this is definitely something that I do a lot. I watch while I'm eating something, I'm having a meal. I'm typically watching a YouTube VOD where I'm trying to understand what's the thought process behind the decision before the streamer or the content creator actually explains it to me. So because there's a lot of thought that comes into these articles. There's actually already discussed in the past CFB Pro, which has a bunch of very, very good content creators, like the guys from Lords of Limited. Cordo Calls is also putting a lot of content in there. So there's a lot to in the internet to consume, and it's generally speaking very good content. If you watch streams, there's here a tip: make sure to watch people who don't just play the game but explain their deeper reasoning. This is something that I try to do, not only because it helps me ensuring that I have a plan at every single moment of time, but it helps everyone, and I've been getting feedback that's actually quite valuable, and it feels like the most watched streamers actually don't do this that much, but that's also why I love to watch Ben S streaming and his YouTube content. So now regarding deck building. Again, just to recap a bit, here in this section we reviewed a bit the metagame, so the kind of preparation that you can have. We reviewed some key points that you can look at and try to focus your study on of a given set, of a given format. And now let's jump into deck building. So this was preparation, and now we are already in the event, right? And regarding deck building, there's already a bunch of stuff that we reviewed the last stream on the sealed spreadsheet that I'm actually working to improve a bit. Let me just adding like some tips for MTG Arena, some stuff more related to sideboarding and all of that. That's available via the command sealed, by the way. Moving on to deck building. Rarely do players agree on the exact build of a sealed pool. Building a sealed deck, it's actually very, very tough. There's so many possibilities. I feel blessed when there's a single powerful deck that brews from a pool of 6 packs. Just because even this Sunday, I had like three sets of 6 packs, and now I tried to build 3 sealed pools. The first one went great. The second one, I spent like 2 hours thinking about it, and the third one also went reasonably well. So it's very rare for players to agree on the outcome of a sealed pool. Don't feel bad if your decisions, if you're afraid that your decisions might not be the most optimal ones. But there's actually something good from doing this, good in a way, because pressure from playing on a paper tournament, time pressure and all of that, is also good for your brain to develop these strategies. But yeah, on Arena you can take screenshots, you can easily swap things around, and don't give tells to your opponent of what you're doing. So all those good things are available to you. Moving on, next problem. You only have a limited amount of time to build your deck. Again, this is more related to paper, but again, take advantage of this, right? You can think about a deck. You can even discuss it with other people, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's on the rulings, but I guess you can. So that's something that you can do. But again, generally speaking, I prefer to incentivize practicing for the hardest case scenario. So there's a common saying in martial arts and probably in other sports, like if you train hard, the fight is easy, right? If you make it harder for yourself when you're practicing, you'll have an easier time when you're actually on a tournament. Yes, exactly. So an additional thing is, even though, as we discussed previously, sealed decks typically don't have that much synergy, are more about raw power, you still need to have a plan. You still need to have a strategy to actually deploy those threats, to actually answer your opponent's threats. So it's important to see not only, and you can rewatch that on our previous stream on YouTube. Like, it's not only about identifying where the bombs, where the removal and where the mana fixing is. It's also about understanding if the commons or the other cards are actually supporting that deck. So as everything in Magic and in life, have a plan. Okay, define a plan, because that's the first step to actually define shorter term goals to evolve. Yeah, and this is something very, very usual. you see this a lot, and this is a reason for you to actually value removal highly. So people are under-prepared for bombs. This is very, very, very common. People are just or not as experienced players. I definitely recall me doing these sort of things, not really valuing the unconditional removal, even though if it's 6 mana or whatever, it can be huge for your game. So yeah, I definitely remember valuing the bombs, valuing creatures, having a good density of creatures, some pump spells or whatever, and then where are the answers for my opponent's gods or whatever. That's something that you should have answers. I know that there's these threats versus answers dilemma, where, like, if your opponent has a threat and you have a threat, well, your threat is always, having threats is proactive, having answers is reactive. You need to align your answers against your opponent's threat. So it's a bit difficult. That's why it's important to prioritize removal that is good everywhere. Eric, welcome. Thank you for joining. How are you doing? So yesterday you were playing on the SCG tournament, right? How did it go? Let us know. Hey, Rick. Nice to see you, Oran. Crashed and burned. Well, sometimes that's how it goes. What I like after a tournament like that, it's just have a good night of sleep, and next day I'll feel much better. I'll feel ready to tackle a few more games on Arena and actually start feeling good because I'm winning or whatever. So yeah, sometimes it's the best thing is to stop for a bit. But that's variance again. That's something that we talk about it here a lot. Exactly. That's always a good escape route. To boost our ego, right? Let's pick mono red and go to the ladder. Good. The less your own deck has a plan to execute, the more your individual power level of your opponent's cards matter. This is, again, if you don't have enough, the fewer threats you have when compared to the average opponent, the more you need to prioritize answers, right? Because you cannot simply your opponent plays a threat, you play a threat. That you won't have threat, so you will lose that battle. Burn them down. Exactly. Sealed isn't the same as a draft. There are very a lot of reasons for that, but there are some crucial differences to keep in mind. For example, since you open 6 packs instead of 3 virtually, you generally speaking you have, or more often than not, yes, you have access to more rares, so more good cards, or more broken cards in the past few sets than on a draft. You also cannot control as much your pool. Solo Tide, welcome, thank you for the following, man. How are you doing? Whoop up. Whoop up. Welcome. Today, for the ones that arrived, Today we're dedicating the intro to review an article on general strategy for sealed events, because there's the arena open coming in the next weekend. So today we'll do this. We'll review this article. By the way, it's available via the articles command. There's a bunch of articles available to you. You can also use the command to check those out. But yeah, if you just look articles, you can, there's a bunch of stuff that I've been sharing on my previous streams. Feel free to take a look. Either way, today we'll review this article. Next Thursday we'll review a few analytics coming from 17 lands. That's the spirit, Solo Tide. Growth mindset. This stream is all about growth mindset and deliberate practice. Those are, I know those are seem like buzzwords, but if you sometimes buzzwords are really useful because they're easy for you to keep themselves handy, like in your front pocket or whatever of your mind. So you can recall them very easily. You can adapt. You can use that for your daily decision making. But thank you for joining the stream, Solo Tide. That's really appreciated. Yes, so I was discussing analytics next Thursday, and then we'll have the thing during the weekend. So let me just check if I'll have a bunch of noise coming up. I hope not. I'll take a look. So when you have so then the author goes on saying when you have a mediocre or a bad pool is to build an aggressive deck. This is a common advice. it gives, and the reasoning behind it is that it gives your opponents less chance to draw their strongest cards. If you get in early and you don't enable your opponent to get into the late game to play their big cards. This is something that the author doesn't really agree with, and that's definitely my experience, because I was biased early on building more aggro decks out of my sealed pools. Like I have that curve that the little pamphlet on the pre-release packs says to you. The thing is, you typically end up short if you don't have reach. Or sometimes you don't even you aren't even able to curve out as you would expect. You end up not being able to do much, and at some point you really feel the game slipping out of your hands. So that's why the author suggests, and I definitely agree, that the successful way to salvage a bad pool, so that is a pool where you don't have that many bombs, is to play a deck with too many mana sources and too many big creatures, because those are the things generally so on average the games go long, right? Even your opponents will typically have a slow deck, but they won't have plays for turn 2, sometimes for turn 3, if they're really a bit more unlucky. So having cards that matter on the long game is something that you should prioritize. What do I have here? Yes, okay, these are just some generic guidelines. 18 to 19 lands at some point, and 4 plus creatures, typically 5/5s or 5 toughness creatures or whatever. Things that are a bit more resilient than average. The Colossal Dreadmaw. Yes, and I think that's basically all I want to say here. Then gameplay. Limited gameplay is very often about getting little advantages left and right. If you and your opponent both have grindy decks, right, you will try to gain some advantage on the like doing some using your efficient removal on your opponent's stuff. Okay, it's actually working. I was just wondering because I have a very noisy machine running on the background. So yeah, thank you for the props, Mitch. Thank you. By the way, this black mage hat really suits you very nicely. So yeah, typically games are grindy. You want to be grinding out small advantages, both in terms of mana efficiency, so using your efficient removal spell on your opponent's bigger creature. You also want to prioritize 2/4-1s, like creatures that are inherently 2/4-1s, like there's the red giant that when it enters the battlefield. I typically, I'm already bad at remembering people's names, so remembering magic card names, sometimes it's even worse. But yeah, there's the blue giant, the red giant, I mean, 4/2, that when it enters the battlefield deals damage equal to the greatest number of creatures that share a card. That share a creature type, I mean. And by the way, regarding creature types, I'm actually adding some interesting stuff into this spreadsheet that I've been working on. If it shows up. Types and abilities. Come on. So this is just a sneak peek into a spreadsheet that I'm wrapping up. Since the latest sets have been quite tribal sometimes, I'm building a spreadsheet where I just input the card names, I give them rating, I provide some comments and all of that, and then I'm able to actually understand have some statistics automatically computed in terms of creature and removal, archetypes breakdown, types and abilities of creatures and of spells, stuff like that. So for example, we see here that warriors and berserkers are really common. So if you manage to on a draft to find yourself in Rakdos or with some berserker payoffs, you can actually expect to see a lot. And berserkers, it's not an archetype that is highly prioritized. For example, people talk a lot about elves and giants, not as much about clerics and berserkers, for example. And both of those are actually quite well represented, right? So yeah, but this is something for later. So by the way, this sort of stuff on the next set will be generated automatically. So that's the aim. Moving back to our article. So grindy, board stalls are common, so you need to accrue some advantage on those situations. It can be card advantage. It can be having mana sinks, because even if you don't have that much card advantage, you're still able to get some effects from the creatures that you have on the board. Evasion is very, 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 very important. Even more, I feel, in Kaldheim, because there's really a lot of flyers around, mainly in blue and white. But yeah, for example, the two of the best blue commons are the Mistwalker and Raven, whatever, the 3/3 flyer that you can foretell for 2 on turn 3, for example. That's a usual play. So those 2 cards are very good, and everything. Share your Twitch to my Twitter. May get some people come across. Oh, thank you, Solotai. That's really kind. I'm really glad that you're enjoying the stream. That's a bit my goal. I want to grow as a player first and foremost, but I paired with growing, like helping others grow. I get a lot of. I get a lot of enjoyment from growing this community, and being able to discuss those stuff around. If you enjoy it, feel free to join the Discord. We actually, it's just starting out, but there's this general focus on growing, and it's not only about Magic. It's about other stuff. So that's just a quick note. But thank you. That's really appreciated. Getting your opponent on the back foot is one way to control the game flow, and that's typically how you want. So sometimes you might actually be a bit more aggressive in the earlier stages of the mid game, just because you have a good sequencing of turns ready for your opponent. So another thing, and this is something that is actually quite interesting, and something that actually everyone can do, like saving their sealed pool decks and playing with them a bunch of times. So we might even on the Discord arrange some games to compare sealed pools. How could one improve? Still, there's just a few people there for now, but I guess that's a really good way to improve. And the key thing that the author highlights is understanding the strengths and the weaknesses of the deck. So what's missing, and more important than probably anything, how does the deck performance compares against your initial expectations. So when you're building a deck, you have some expectations on the game plan, on how it will play, right? But there's the other side of the coin, right? How does it actually perform? And this is something that every good Magic player. I believe every good Magic player is quite humble with their own opinions, and they are quite prone to change them, or at least sometimes. There are definitely outliers for this pattern, so keep with me. Still, I truly believe in that, because one of the best ways to improve is to recognize where your past judgment was wrong. But it requires you to be humble to do something like that, right? You cannot really just base all your future decisions on or actions on decisions that you took on the past. Sometimes it's good to say sorry, it's good to say I'm wrong, to admit, and that's actually quite valuable. It's just unfortunate that, for example, in politics and so on, that's not as valued as it should. But well, that's a discussion for another time. Moving on, it's also important, this is also a bit related, it's not really related to the metagame, but it's also something that you should keep in consideration when playing, which is your opponent's behavior during the game. So if they are declining to trade damage early on, they are most likely trying to get into the late game. So they don't expect to be that aggro early on. I actually have here some notes. Okay, exactly. One of the questions that you can ask yourself is: can I be more aggro? Can I do? Can I put as much damage as possible in the early turns of the game before my opponent is able to do whatever they are planning for later? They might be playing around combat tricks, so that already hints you that they seem to be knowledgeable on the set, right? So can you actually bluff common combat tricks? It's very important to know the combat tricks like Run Amok, Kaya's Onslaught, and all of that. Do they always play their land after combat? If they do, first, they might not be bluffing or threatening a combat trick, but they might also. But you should also be careful when they actually play that land before combat. So that's also a reason for why, generally speaking, you should play the land before combat, because it essentially increases the opportunity, the possibilities that you might leave open, even if it's just a bluff, right? Moving on. Okay, so then the author just explains a bit the things that I said above. Everything that your opponent does gives you more knowledge about the game and the opponent. This is a level of gameplay that is hard to achieve. I've listened several times to Luis Scott Vargas mentioning the several levels of player that you might fall into. Like you might be a level 0 or whatever, where you're reading the cards. Don't quote me for that, because I don't recall exactly which levels he uses on his logic. But then after you are able to read and understand a bit how the cards work, then you start having a plan. Then you start realizing that your opponent also has a plan. So try to understand how that works. And then level 3, you start understanding that your opponent understands that you have a plan, so you might try to skew your decisions toward hinting that you have something that you might not even have, right? Then sideboarding. This is actually I really like this section from the article, because it's an aspect that I don't practice as much. If I'm playing a paper tournament, I'm generally speaking in a rush to wrap up things, to move into the next round. But in GPs and so on, the situation might be a bit different. So sideboarding is where the author actually gains the biggest edge in sealed. And there's an interesting thing that I read in another article, that is like if you're playing during the weekend on the Arena Open, there's actually 2 formats that you can play in: best of 1 and best of 3. Best of 1, well, if you are good with your sideboarding and with balancing your deck against and adjusting your deck to what your opponent is doing, best of 3 is generally best. Best of 1, on the other hand, best of 1 is likely to be filled with not as good players, generally speaking. So there's also an edge there. you should balance your decisions in that sense. If I think that if you're good at sideboarding, best of 3 is the best, but that's something that is up to you. Yes, and why is sideboarding so important in sealed? Because I think it's obvious, but your sideboard pool is much larger than in every other format, right? And the author divides the sideboarding decisions into 3 sections. You might do a large sideboard. You might perform a large sideboarding, like you change your entire deck virtually. Since you have a big pool, typically you can, if you don't have a narrow, clearly better deck, generally speaking, you have like 2 decks that come out of it, or sometimes even more. And something that you can take advantage on Arena is actually just screenshotting it, and you have plenty of time. I believe it's the time to build the deck is not capped on Arena. They don't have that mechanism implemented. So you can take screenshots of several variations and try to compare them, understand which one is more likely to have the highest win percentage overall. And then if your opponent has a very slow deck, thank you, Salutide. I'm really needing. Thank you for the hydrate. I feel like I've been talking for a while. Thank you. You might want to completely sideboard in an aggro deck, which might be completely different from your deck. 2/2 might be very good against either very slow or very fast decks, of course. This is something that you can consider. Happening every now and then. Swapping the whole deck is something rare to happen. Either because you're under pressure, or you actually don't have that much time to practice with your main deck to know where its strengths and weaknesses are, if you're not that familiar with the set. This is something rare, so it's statistically unlikely that your opponent will do that. Sideboarding after switching decks, and this is something that I found funny, the author mentioning, because it's something that need to keep your liquids up, definitely. After you switch the decks, right, after your large sideboarding, you still should tweak your final deck. It's not only about looking into your screenshot and swapping for your second deck, and then don't sideboard anymore because your opponent had a lot of flyers and you're putting green and you don't have the whatever, the one that kills flyers. Damn, today my magic names don't come to me, but I know their effects. That's all that matters, and I recognize the pictures. So large sideboard can also be done after the second game. It's not only it's not a requirement for you to do it immediately after game 1, right? Because your opponent might actually do a major sideboard change, or actually swap out their combat tricks, or actually late creatures to be able to have some early staying power, and you need to adjust for that. So this is something that you might consider. There's also medium and then small sideboard changes. Regarding medium, you're focusing on changing the game plan. Excuse me. It's possible you'll want to add cards you'd never considered playing in the first place. What do I have here? This thinking process typically doesn't happen in best of 1, which makes it harder. Yes, I added this note here because I'm typically playing best of 1, and this need to think about what your opponent is doing. Thank you. This need of thinking about what your opponent is doing might actually be crucial for your tournament performance, right? So playing best of 1 always, it might hinder you on this aspect. You're not looking for what cards could you answer with your sideboard cards. You're not looking you're trying to understand what's the game plan of your opponent at the specific moment, but you're not thinking about how can I actually go around it, right? So a lot of things that best of one misguides you in a way. I am culprit. I draft typically best of one because best of three I feel a lot of competitiveness variance, in the sense that my opponents are either very good or very bad sometimes. So it's harder to get good games of Magic, to actually grow, right? For that that's why the ladder, I know it does not prepare for tournaments on Constructed, for example, sometimes, but it's still a very good mechanism for you to be playing against people on your skill level, right? Opponents is playing an aggressive deck. There are a few strategies that the author highlights here. And again, it's always about understanding, is your opponent, this is just the simplest part, right? Is my opponent aggro, or is my opponent more mid-rangey or control-ish? If your opponent is aggro, it might actually be good to cut your splash colors to make your deck more consistent, because if your deck in a consistent version is able to put in a fight against your opponent and actually be just a tad bit slower and a bit bigger than your opponent's deck, that's generally speaking good enough. There are also situational cards that might be worse against aggressive strategies, just because if it's more situational, it's harder to align your answer against the opponent's threats, right? You might not draw it in time. This is also something to consider. This gets back to our discussion of answers versus threats. Vanilla creatures with higher toughness than power are often good to stop early assaults. This is something that you'll probably do a lot. Like if you're a more mid-rangey deck and you're facing an aggro deck, putting a 1/4 or a 2/5 even on the board is very very good, because your opponent won't have the staying power to fight you on the later stages of the game. Now, if the opponent is presenting a more slower deck, you might consider cutting most of your early game, because those are, generally speaking, worser cards, or cards that don't have that much impact as the game goes long. You might also, of course, remove removal for smaller creatures, combat tricks. You won't fight that often, right? Add some mana for a lot of late game creatures, and ways to generate card advantage. So actually, sometimes adding a bit more mana, or at least adjusting your mana slots against your mana curve, is something that you can consider. Ways to generate card advantage, of course, that's something very very important. If you're fighting for the late game, you don't want to be the one top decking. Next, getting decked. Yes, sometimes getting decked is a real is a real thing. So you might actually even consider adding a few more cards than your opponent. Like the author is suggesting 45 cards, getting a 45 card deck. Adding that, and sometimes, if the game is going long and it's going to turn 12 or whatever, sometimes you might actually consider adding some cards that are very expensive, like Cozy, like in the author's example. You might actually consider adding a very expensive card to help you win the game. It's like an additional plan to win the game. Solotide, I really appreciate you're looking for my sore throat. It's really appreciated. all in all, so medium sideboarding. Yeah, when doing medium sideboarding, so slightly changing your game plan, your new plans should be slightly lower and slightly bigger than your opponent. I have my nephew doing some faces to me. So funny. So yeah, having it a bit slower and a bit bigger than your opponent is key, because you will have more staying power, and when the dust settles, you will be on the leading position. Your opponent... yeah, of course, your opponent will also add cards well suited against yours, and it's often important to avoid cards that immediately become obsolete against the right defenses. So if it's common to have some early blockers, like a 1/4 that really hinders your attackers. Oh, network error? O que é que se passou? O que é que se passou? Okay, I guess it was only on my machine. I think everything is fine. Okay, there was a network error. I got a bit scared there. Avoid cards that immediately get... Okay, so then small. There are also small sideboard changes. This is more often about you're not changing the core of your deck, but you're trying to essentially align answers against threats. Or, well, you're trying to align against specific cards that your opponent presented that are a bit painful for you to deal with. Hey AG, welcome. Today we're reviewing an article on Sealed. I hope that you enjoyed it. It's actually related to the article I shared previously on the Discord channel. How are you doing, AG? Are you doing fine? Are you recovering from your you were a bit bad these days, so have you recovered? So small sideboard changes. Your opponent shows a pattern of playing around combat tricks. Consider cutting them, right? This is something that you should consider. Your opponent tries to go for a long game. Add cards that are good on the long game. You don't need to actually change your plan often. Adding cards adding answers to cards that you might not have seen, but are very common for whatever the opponent is doing. That's something that you can consider. Decided to... Damn, 40 kilometers? That's wild. Damn, that's good. It's nowadays one of the best things that you can do when practicing sports is really to do some cardio to work out your stamina. I guess that can help you if you actually get COVID. So there are just a few examples, and board out combat tricks my opponent has seen. This is something that the author does often, according to him. It's if my opponent saw some combat tricks, I board them out, not because they stop being good, but because my opponent will be expecting them, so they are not as effective. And the thing about combat tricks that is important to consider, if you haven't thought about it, is what do you want on a combat tricks deck, or a deck that fits well into combat tricks, is you want to have a lot of ground fights and fights with interaction with blockers, right? Because you want essentially to promote your combat tricks into removal. Combat tricks are not exactly to deal more damage to your opponent, even though that might be a plan. Combat tricks typically add 3 power at most, or 4 power in the case of some green cards. So that's not really a game-winning plan, right? You want to promote them to removal. But if your opponent is playing around them, you won't be able to play those cards as removal in a way, right? So that's something important to consider. To wrap it up, most important thing to do when sideboarding small is to remove useless cards. So there's actually a nice background logic to these sideboard decisions. First, when you're sideboarding, where you're making large changes, it's because your current deck, you cannot really align your current deck well against your opponent, or at least in the way that your second potential deck might get aligned. When you're sideboarding in a medium way, the most important thing is to be, one of the things to consider is you want to fall into a place where you're slightly slower, but slightly bigger, at least slightly bigger than your opponent. And when you're sideboarding small, you essentially want to remove dead cards, or cards that lose a lot of their potential, in pro of cards that are better aligned against your opponent's threats. And that's the article for today. This was like, we spent almost 1 hour around it, but I think this article is actually quite interesting. And the plan was slightly different for today, but I guess this has a lot of value. Again, I will make sure to add those ideas into this sealed cheat sheet during the rest of the day after the stream and all of that. I'll try to work a bit on this and to improve it in a way. And you can also always access it via the sealed command. The sealed command. I generally speaking make these things all available. I want people. Well, I'm in one way. I'm small enough that my priority is to get out there, right, and produce quality content that people value. But on the other end, I feel no need to put these behind paywalls and run ads and all of that. I'm not complaining about that. There's people who definitely want to do that, but I have time. Well, either way, yes, this sort of stuff are not behind paywalls or anything like that. I generally speaking make all of these available. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's article. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you. You will be streaming, right? What will you be streaming today, Mitch? So without further ado, let's actually jump into Arena, shall we? And before we jump into an actual deck, let's run a small poll here, because we have a few viewers here. Create a new poll. So we want what? And the goal of the poll is to understand what format do you guys want me to play. Format. Wait. Draft. Okay, start poll. Just 1 minute. And in between, I can actually elves. I think I will play elves at some point. That's a tribe that I actually like. I enjoy a lot tribal decks. Like in Modern, I play Merfolk. I built a Merfolk paper deck. In Pioneer, I built a Spirits deck. Spirits is very, very cool. So yeah, I'm really a fan of tribal synergies. Of highly synergistic decks that they can run with the game like crazy. So the minute is almost over. Let us see if actually anyone voted. Just kidding, I'm not sure. Let us see. View results. Okay, since no one, maybe I didn't give enough time. But what we will do is a best of one draft, okay? Just because it's a bit faster and it enables everyone to understand won't let me vote? Oh, really? Let me do it again then. I will do it again. New poll. New poll? Okay. What format? Now I'll simplify it a bit, sorry, but best of 1, draft, best of 3, sealed, best of 1, sealed, best of 3. Okay, poll created, draft best of 3, okay. AG Force, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? How are you doing? Have you been working on that command line program that you mentioned? I still think that it would be awesome in as a Discord chatbot, like collaboratively building a deck, like suggesting cards, and then you can use like command show the current to show the current state of status of the deck. I think that would be quite interesting. Let's see if this time. So this is actually the first time I'm building a poll. So we have a draft best of 3 vote, sealed best of 3 actually won. Okay, nice. We're getting into a sealed. I actually quite enjoy it. We will need to make some shortcuts. Sometimes, like, I won't be making all the screenshots, all of that. But I will mention those sort of stuff as we go. Okay. Just because otherwise we'll have like a 6-hour stream, and that's not my goal. I have here some packs still left to open from our previous sealed. So sealed best of 3. Nice. This actually worked. Sealed best of 3. Sealed traditional. Sealed. This is it. Physics for a test. Oh, nice. Nice. If like, feel free to use the Discord to test stuff. I'll help you with that, and actually also to just ask for ideas, right? Feel free to. I think that would be really cool. I see a lot of people like assembling decks on the stream, on a Discord channel, or discussing deck strategies and all of that, but I don't see that often, like good support to doing that. People are just using the Scryfall tags, the square brackets for it to display the cards, and then someone is aggregating the deck themselves. So that's something to consider. Yes, I want to purchase it. Let's see what pool do we open today. Oh, okay. So we have a very good rare here in Azika's Chariot. This is very, very strong. This is also quite nice. 2-3. It creates. So I will read a bit the rares in the case you're not familiar with them. And this one I'm also not as familiar. So it creates a 2-3 Berserker with Menace. Whenever a Berserker attacks this turn, you may draw a card and you lose 1 life. So this is a payoff for Berserkers. Then you get a red for a red for each Berserker you control. You don't lose it as the turns and phases go. So as we were seeing just by chance previously, Berserkers and Warriors are actually quite common, or Berserkers are very common. So that's something to consider here. But by the way, GeForce, yeah, so physics project. Oh, okay. So that's something that you have. You're in the 12th grade or not? Yes, in 12th grade, I believe. Azika's Chariot. This is 4 power for 6 power for 4 mana essentially, and as soon as you attack with it, you create an additional 2/2 if your opponent is not able to disrupt it. So altogether, very good card. Party Zeke, welcome, welcome. No problem, man, no problem. I'm really glad that you're around. Thank you for joining. I typically don't stream on Mondays. Usually I stream on Sundays and Thursdays. But since yesterday I could not stream because of my girlfriend. She's to blame for me to not have as much time for Magic as as I might. But the thing is, I swapped yesterday's stream with today, but I'm really glad that you guys are joining me. Then we have Burning Rune Demon. This is you fetch for another bomb, so this is actually an even better bomb in sealed, because you can like present 2 bombs to your opponent and they need to give you one. Red black is happening. Red black or green, whatever, splashing either black or splashing red maybe. So this blood, but yeah, we have Storm Predator, so if we have enough green to support the rest of our deck, black green splashing red looks broken right now. Righteous Valkyrie, so it has some synergies with the Angels and Clerics. It's a good card, but it's not the best thing ever. Graven Lore, it's slightly better than not Glimpse, the other one, that's the Multiverse, whatever. So the one that you scry to, draw 2. Why am I forgetting all the Magic card names now? I don't know. So yeah, we already have a basis. So I will build it similarly to last time. So following more or less the scheme that I have on the spreadsheet. Exactly. Behold the multiverse, whatever. I was the only thing that came to my mind was Glimpse the Multiverse or whatever, but there's Glimpse of the Cosmos and Behold the Multiverse, so hence my confusion. Glimpse the Cosmos, so here's that card. So again, we'll go through all these cards, starting by uncommons and rares and mythics, and we'll see where our best cards are. This is great. Blood Sky Massacre is a bit more specific than I would like. Narfi is nice, but not the best thing ever. Sand of the Worthy. This is one of the bad sagas, yes. Ezika Chariot is awesome. Path to the World Tree can help us splash very easily. This is actually pretty strong, so I'll add it to the green section, but not to the broken cards. Elven Bow will also be good. Dwarven Hammer, actually, this is great in this sort of decks. What else? Hailstorm Valkyrie has a lot of has some pretty high snow costs, so not really looking to play that. Duniel, hello, how are you doing today? How are you doing? Thank you for joining. By the way, if I'm butchering anyone's name, yes, today we're practicing sealed. We reviewed an amazing article that you can actually find all the links for those articles via the articles command. But we reviewed a really in-depth article on sealed strategy, and now because democracy happened, I'm doing a best of 3 sealed. Oh, yeah, Partizika, I'm looking forward to that. I need to join those streams, man. Glimpse the Cosmos is quite powerful. If I end up with a few changelings, and I have 2, damn, this is very good. Again, because on these sort of decks, you're looking at the top 3 cards and picking one of them, and you can, if you have a giant or a changeling or whatever, getting articles. Sorry about that, articles. I should probably work a bit on those aliases for singular plural singular plural stuff. The recording will also go live on YouTube if everything goes well in the next couple of days. Glimpse the Cosmos, yes, it's very good because you want to look for your high powered creatures. Creatures, threats, generally speaking. Third Grid Shadow is actually quite nice. And I guess that's mostly it in terms of really, really good cards. Let's now remove this and look for mana fixing. Okay, we'll look for mana fixing. In green, what we have, Jasper Sentinel. I don't really consider this is not that good. It actually is quite good, and it can work as a way to filter a bit my mana. To filter, not to filter actually, because I need to tap multiple creatures. But it's a bit conditional. No problem, Danielle. I need to improve a bit those things. No, our red is looking well. We don't have that much red apparently, but we have removal in spades. We have very good rare red. Moving on. Green. Anything else? Sculptor of Winter might be so. If I haven't yet explained, let me just remove all these lands here. So the plan right now that what I want to do is put on the first row, on the first column, the best cards of my sealed pool, so the most powerful cards. Then I want to put the removal. Then I want to put the mana fixing, including double lands and the like. And that's a bit the plan. Actually, this goes into the fixing slot. And then I have one column per color for the cards that are C- up or C up, depending on how I'm feeling. So essentially, I want to see if there's support to play those colors, and they are ordered like that. This is just the way I order stuff on paper. Too. So on digital you can do things differently, but this is just a way I use. This is just a method at the end of the day. But green looks quite interesting. So we also have this land. Jesus, we have a ton of double lands and replicating ring. Okay. This is looking good. In terms of decently playable cards, we have two Narfis. We won't have that much snow. On a sealed pool is much harder to have a sealed snow package, a well-rounded snow package. This is also a bit more conditional, but is quite strong. Let's see if it fits the deck. Raven Wings might get played. These two. I won't play two of these. Most likely. Funeral Longbow might get played, but I'm not really prioritizing it. One Raven Wings is probably enough. Let's just add the two. And now let's start building the piles for each color and the removal pile, because I only found the awesome red removal. This looks good. In terms of white, I mean, this is pretty decent. This is decent if I'm going wide. This is creatures you control, so it includes itself. So, but going wide is quite hard. Axgard Braggart is okay-ish. This is removal, actually. Gold mod champion. This is a very good creature. So white, I'm not really all that much excited by white. Spectral Steel, sure-ish. It can get us back another aura or equipment from the graveyard. So this aura might be a card, might be one of those prison spells, but I don't even have good white removal like the Bound in Gold one. So whatever. Big Billboard, welcome to my stream. How are you doing? You mean the easy part, Art to Master Guide? Oh yeah. The easy to start, Art to Master, exactly. So those are sorted. The ones on top are the ones that we reviewed on stream, sorted by chronologically. But I might actually invert those, and the ones below are just the ones in the queue, the backlog of future articles. And as always, I'm always looking forward for your suggestions. If you have a good suggestion for the next sessions, feel free to leave them with me anywhere on the social media. Okay, so white seems to be really bad. I don't even have good reasons to play white. Let's just leave it here for the sake of it. Depart the Realm can be good if I have enough... if I happen to have enough sagas, for example. It's also a good tempo play, but... generally speaking, you don't have that much time to be doing that sort of stuff. Designful Stroke is actually quite playable. Annul is a nice sideboard card. Pilfering Hawk, Raven Form. It's a mildly decent card. Build the Multiverse. We have some blue cards, definitely. Probably I won't play them, but it's fine. Your Leech, thank you for following. By the way, I love the name. Love the name. I'm doing fine. Having an awesome sealed session here on MTG Arena. What about you, man? How are you? Snow-covered swamp, I might play it. I need to look into those lands later. Raise the Draugr is actually a quite nice card. Grim Draugr, just fine. Infernal Pet is not that good. This might be good if I have enough snow, but it asks me to be aggressive, which is typically not something that I want to do. So if I attack with a menace creature, I want to attack with other creatures, so that they either focus on the creature that I'm able to pump multiple times, or focus on the other creatures. If I'm attacking with just Grim Draugr, generally speaking, it won't end up well for me. Hailstorm Valkyrie. If I have a lot of snow, like 5+ or 6+ snow lands, I might play it, but initially I won't. I'm not prioritizing it. Scamfar Shadow Sage. So this really is geared towards tribal synergies. Even Raise the Draugr might not be that good in this deck. We'll need to check. Tergrid Shadow. Dread Rider can be a finisher if we're missing some, but elves all the way. Run Amok as a combat trick, but not something that we want to prioritize here. Seize the Spot is actually a decent playable, because in red you still want to have ways to accrue some card advantage, and if you're dumping a land on the graveyard, you essentially got 2 for 1. Agimob is pretty decent, just because it's a big body. This actually is playable, decent, let's say. How much limited? Well, your liege, never enough. Actually, during this set, even though I've studied the set quite a lot through watching other streamers, reading a bunch of content, and I've been drafting a bit. I haven't played this set like a lot. I played this set. I did between sealed and drafts like 10 events or something, which is definitely under what's usual for me. But I've been working on other stuff. I've been working on the stream, like I gotta feel it early in the set, so I wanted to set those things up and other things. Next month, I'm challenging myself already to get to Mythic next month. I will likely start on on bronze or whatever, just because I'm not playing that much ranked. Cinderheart. So the Cinderheart giant is actually decent playable because it's a big body. It has some impact on the battlefield, and games are going long again in sealed and all that good stuff. This requires me to have no permanents on the board, which is a tad tricky to ask for. Let's add it here. It's still a fight spell, but I'm more likely than not to splash for demon bolts and that kind of stuff. Maybe not for frostbite. Let's see. If I'm able to turn this into a 3 damage spell more often than not, it's fine. But yeah, your liege. Limited or like drafting is it's my favorite format. That's the format that I'm more often than not playing. So yeah, at least for now. Elderleaf Mentor is actually quite nice. This I'm glad on playing this. Green doesn't look like the most supported color, to be honest. I might actually just splash Ezekiel's Chariot. We'll need to see. We also have some high impact cards here. So Roots of Wisdom card or L from the graveyard. It's not that great. Snakeskin Veil is actually quite decent. It's a very cheap way to protect your creatures for 1 mana. Mammoth Growth. It's still decent. It's not unplayable, for sure. So this is a bit of what we have. Red doesn't seem that well supported from our with creatures and the like, but we have some pretty decent things that we might actually consider splashing. Let's look into our mana fixing. So we have these two that provide black, green, and blue, or between those, which is the one that I have the most of. We have these two that help us play red. So this Island Forest we will likely play it. Oh, okay. I actually have some cards here that are quite interesting in green. So looking into all of this, there's a slight possibility of playing blue, but it's not that supported by our splashing colors. Glimpse the Cosmos is quite powerful, but we won't end up with a lot of giants. What are you trying to do, GeForce? Damn. I light my message. Okay, create. Oh, that's like your proposal. Oh, nice. By the way, put that on the Discord, and anyone interested in looking into what GeForce is doing, I can actually just quickly explain it. But feel free to put that on the Discord so we don't lose it. Like even as a list, so we can give you suggestions. But I feel like you're making progress. Either the programming, maybe the programming. We can center that around the programming channel for now. Maybe, not sure. Or I can actually create a specific channel for this, if you want. So save it. After the stream, I'll create a specific channel. So what GeForce is doing, I met GeForce like a while ago, and GeForce, even though he's quite young, is a very smart kid, and is working on he was working on a tool to generate decks and with some kind of utilities to use on the command line. If you're using Ubuntu, Linux, or a Linux distro or whatever. But another thing that was suggested to him, and he seems to be doing some progress, is having a Discord bot that enables users to collaboratively build a deck, and that looks dope. I'm really looking forward to see that. There's always the possibility of like rendering even pictures of the deck with the layout of the deck. I think that will be like crazy. Exports into MTG Arena, all that good stuff. I think it will be great. So back to our limited sealed deck. We actually have some decent green, so we'll definitely play some green. We have some quite good cards. We have some decent black to use. Tergrid's Shadow can be quite good if we play it like on turn 4 and we don't have anything on our side of the board. And just being able to play Burning Rune Demon and Immerstorm Predator looks great. So I guess our initial plan will be kept. Let's drop the white cards. And let's actually start building our deck. We already saw that we have some very strong removal in red. So let's just remove everything so cards end up falling into their respective places. Okay. So let's start with green. Blizzard Brawl, I won't put it right now. This will likely get played. This will be played. Path will too. We won't have enough ways to use Path's second ability, but I'm still likely to use it. Like if I have the whatever frosting card. That generates 1 mana of any color, that I could play it. I could also play the Jaspera Sentinel trying to but I won't have that many creatures on the board often, so I'm still not sure. I'll leave that for a bit later. That might get played. So this is more or less what we have in green. We have some other options here, of course. In black, Immerstorm for sure. Narfi not really right now. This also enables us to generate blue. So we might actually play it because it's snow and it helps us generating blue to power our the path to the World Tree. This will get played. This might not get played. I think I have a lot of power already. This will be played. Scamfar. This only if I'm doing tribal better than I am right now. This is likely to get played. Raise the Draugr is just okay-ish. No other snow lands here. No? No. Okay. These are 16 cards. Let's pick our red removal. Oh, do I have filters here? No, I don't. Let me close just these alerts. Okay. Demon Bolts. Sure. Dwarven Hammer. This is quite good, but I don't have that much... like, this is awesome with flyers, for example. It's still a pretty decent card. It's still very good. Frostbite, I think it will get play. This is 3 snow permanents. So how many snow permanents do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. I might play this one just to also help me out with path and the snow-covered mountain. Sure. So I have some snow. I don't think I want anything else from this selection of cards. Blizzard Brawl. I don't have very strong well, I have some strong creatures for sure. 3 or more snow permanents. Again, I have a lot of snow, so this might be playable. I'm still not sure. I think it will be a bit clunky because +1/+1 might not be enough to make the cut. But right now we're at 23 cards and counting lands, so this is still not enough playables. We're splashing for 4, so this is already not quite a splash, but it's fine if we play like 5 colors of 5 sources of red or something. In terms of sources of mana, how are we faring right now? For green, let's start in green. We have 1, 2. We have 2. And green seems to be quite important, but we don't have double pipped green cards. So what I typically like to do is, and I went over this process more in depth previously. So you want to ensure 2 things, right? You want to ensure that you have around 17 lands in your deck, right? And you also want to ensure that you have enough sources of mana for each of your colors. Cards like Sculptor of Winter count like half of a land, because even though I have 6 of them, it will only fix for whatever snow land I actually have in play. So that's something to consider. And Path to the World Tree, I can get a basic land card from here, so it's a basic. And the general rule of thumb numbers that you should keep in mind is if you have a light splash, like 1 or 2 cards with a single pip of colored pip on the card, you want around 3 or 3 sources of mana at least. If you can have more, great, but you don't want to impact your main colors as much. If you start having more like I have here, I'm already more inclined to play like 5 sources of mana. If we're talking about the like your main deck colors, you start talking about at the minimum 7 lands of that color. You might actually want more, or typically you want more. You want at least 8, sometimes 9 if you're a bit more focused, geared towards one of the colors. But yeah, 8 is a good number. Still, what I like to do, because it gets a bit confusing sometimes with double lands, with snow lands and all of that, I like to add the lands for a given like the bare minimum, right? For example, for green, I can fetch with a forest with Path to the World Tree, but I won't often do that. So I want I want 8 sources of green. Okay. Still, I might just play with 7. So we'll try first with 7, 5, 6. 7. So this gives us 7 sources of green. Regarding black, we also have a double pipped green card, but at this stage of the game I should have a Sculptor of Winter or Path, whatever. I don't have that much green fixing, which is a bit concerning, but it's fine. Still, Ravenous Lindworm, I'm not really worried to not be able to cast it. Regarding black, I have so already 1 here, 2, 3. So I have 3. Let's complement that up to 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. And red. Red I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 red. Let's add just 2. It's like my rationale is the following. If by adding the bare minimum requirements of lands for each of the colors that I'm playing already gets me over 17 lands considerably, so I should probably either reduce the splashing color or actually remove one of the colors. It's typical in Seal to be splashing like 2 colors. We might do that here. Just because we might have already enough ways to splash blue, for example, on 1, 2. So if I add an additional blue source, I could add 2 cards, two blue cards, for example. That's something to consider. So let's count the lands: 5, 7, 8. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this gets us to 17 lands, okay? Which is already quite something. This Elven Bow is actually more of a turn 3 play than anything else. Dwarven Hammer is likely to be a turn 5 play. Blizzard Brawl, it won't get played on turn 1, but that's fine. Frostbite, not sure. The Snake Skin Veil is an awesome way to protect our cards here. How are we faring right now? So we have 34 cards. We still need to fill in a bit our mana. Stuff that we can do. So one possibility would be to add an additional island and be happy, but I don't think that is quite good. Alpine Meadow, Island, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This gives me 5 sources of red. This is actually splashable equipment. The additional cost doesn't have red on it. Demon's Bolt, but still, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. 5 red cards. I might play 18 lands, to be honest. I still have Path to the World Tree, so this kind of counts as an additional land. Still, I would be interested in playing... Probably, I want to play an additional forest and reduce 1 swamp. 1 mountain, I mean. So let's do that. Let's do that. And my rationale is I have ways to get mountains. But the ways that I have to get mountains or to get red mana depend on green mana, right? If we want to wrap up our deck, let us see what can we play. We have Elder Fang Disciple, which is a nice way to get our opponent to get a slight advantage on card, a slight card advantage, I mean. Withercrown is just bad, I think. Grim Draugr doesn't do what our deck tries to do. Let's just look into types for Raise the Draugr and Scamfire Shadow Mage. We have essentially 4 elves, 3 clerics, and that's it. So it's real. 4 is not that good. And where are our elves? We might add a few others for sure. Scamfire, when it enters the battlefield, so it counts itself. We might actually prioritize elves and get this Campfire Shadow Mage in the Raise the Draugr, the Elder Fang Disciple. There's also this Jasper Sentinel. So I might actually have a bit of... let's see. Let's see. If I had this... So first, the payoffs. Raise the Draugr. Raise the Draugr. And altogether, it's a way to get back our high impact cards, right? So I think it's pretty good. Berserker, Vampire, Dragon, Demon. Okay, they don't share a type. That is fine. How are we? Creatures, non-creatures. So we want to prioritize a bit more creatures right now. I don't want anything from red. I believe I already have some ways. Let me check. Regarding card advantage, I have Burning Rune Demon, but this is already an expensive spell. I have ways to recur stuff from the graveyard, so that's cool. That's really cool. In terms of snow sources of mana, Sculptor of Winter can help, so it's like half of a source. I can also get a source with a Path to the World Tree, so this counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 sources, which is quite a lot, so I will typically be able to pump Hailstorm Valkyrie. This is still a 4 mana spell, and my 4 mana, my slot for 4 mana spells is already very good. Sure, your Lich, thank you for lurking, thank you. And thank you for joining us. Our Jasper's Sentinels. I'm a bit tempted on playing 3 of these. They have reach, so they can help me get into the late game. Maybe not 3, a bit less, but let's see. But they are quite interesting to help me on casting or into sacrificing the Path to the World Tree. Hailstorm Valkyrie is a potential card we might want to play. And this and this, and I guess now we need to cut 5 cards, and that's it. Ravenous Lindworm, I'm simply impressed by this card. This card is like a C+ on my book, so there's definitely other stuff that I will remove before I remove that. Elderleaf Mentor is not great. It's not great, and I already have a bunch of highly costed spells, so I might want to go down on this. I know it puts 2 bodies, but I won't really take advantage of those bodies. I will be shump blocking, essentially. Hailstorm Valkyrie is on the shopping board. Kama's Faithful. Life Link is helpful. Milling cards is helpful. It might also help my opponent, but this I want to play. Elven Bow for sure. Elderfang Disciple. Do I have... Unfortunately, I don't have the Sacrifice Draw 2 cards, black card. That's quite unfortunate. But something that I might consider is playing a Dread Rider and take advantage of these early creatures that I put in my graveyard. But there would be a friction between Dread Rider and Raise the Draugr, yes. So I don't think I want this card. I very much prefer to get my creatures back to the battlefield so that I have more mana available and all of that. Narfi Betrayer King, I don't believe it's worth a splash. I have a lot of snow mana, but like casting, it pumps what? Clerics? No, snow and zombie creatures. So I don't have that many snow creatures, so whatever. I don't really care about it. So it seems we're playing Junt today. How many cards do I need to cut? Whoa. What happened here? Oh, okay. I'm picking the sleeve. That was not my aim. Okay, I think Arena is bugging. Okay. Did I get it back? No. Arena is bugging. Just banned 15 cards? What? What happened? Okay, we need to get back to our deck. Actually fix it. Arena was having some issues, so we need to cut 4 cards. 4 cards. Frostbite, I think it's quite strong here. Blizzard Brawl. How many removal spells do I have? I have 2 Demon Bolts, I have Frostbite, Blizzard Brawl, +1/+0. So if I don't have 3 or more other snow permanents, this doesn't even pump my creature. This is actually cuttable, I think. I think I don't need that many Jaspera Sentinels. One Elder Fang Disciple is good. One Raise the Draugr. So with a deck like this, we're at 14 cards. Two in Historic, 3 in Legacy, and a bunch in Modern and Pioneer. Oh damn! I need to look into that. That's one of the reasons for me to never play overpowered decks in Modern and Pioneer, because they will get banned at some point just because they receive an awesome creature and then on a new set, and then all the deck gets banned. And that's just bad. So this is our deck. We have Frostbite, Elven Bows, Jaspera Sentinel, Snake Skins. In terms, we have 11 creatures, 10 non-creatures. In terms of lands, we're at 5, 8, 9, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on? What's going on here? 3, 4, 5. Let's probably lower one mountain. Not sure if I want to do that. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alpine Meadow. This is essentially a mountain. So I have 4 and ways to look for them. So I guess that's fine. I also have Jaspera Sentinel to fix the mana if I really need. 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 sources of green. Of that, I'm happy for. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sources of black, plus ways to look for them. But since I have double pip cards, I probably want to keep that. So 5, 7, 8, 8, 8, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 lands. Let me just take a look. Our black cards are often late plays, but I think 18 lands is actually not that bad, I guess. The thing is, our red splash is probably too aggressive. So we might actually consider taking either Dwarven Hammer or Frostbite, for example. Those are possibilities. Dwarven Hammer, what do I want to equip it into? Do I want to be that aggressive? Having Trample is awesome. And I can actually afterwards equip on my smaller creatures and get out some value of them in the later stages of the game. Frostbite. I think I have enough snow to justify having a Frostbite. So I'm willing to play 18 lands, I think, in this deck. I have some late game stuff that I want to get to 4 sources of mana pretty reliably. So let's see what gets in. Another Jaspera Sentinel. I think I will try. Sheep creatures are actually quite nice. Let's actually put this Elder Fang Disciple. No. The thing is, after it enters the battlefield, it's a bit underwhelming. And I think Jaspera Sentinel can do more for our deck than another creature of those. Elder Leaf Mentor. This has ETB effect, so it can work well with Raise the Draugr. Let's put one of them here. Okay, guys. Everyone in the stream, thank you for sticking around. I think we have a very interesting deck here. still, what I want to do is have a very quick break, like 2 minutes, and we'll get back to the games in no time, okay? See you in a bit. And welcome back. So before we forget, since this is a best of 3, there are 2 things that I just want to highlight that I typically forget. I forgot right here just because I'm more used to play best of 1 here on Arena. So the thing is, let's look into sideboard options, okay? There's already a very clear one, which is consider Dread Rider. Let me just check some. Okay, Dread Rider is a possibility. Like if we're playing against a slower deck, for example, if we're playing against a slower deck, we might replace some of our early cards for more late game power. Other things. Raise the Draugr might also be a possibility if we're grindy and we find that we really need our Jasper Sentinels to do stuff, right? I'm still inclined to have another Jasper Sentinel instead of Elder Leaf Mentor, and drop 1 additional color. Let's actually replace a Jasper Sentinel by one of the lands. Do I really? Let's just look into our distribution. 995. But I need green, early green. Early green is quite important. So having 8 clean sources of green. Yes, 8 clean sources of green. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have 8. Okay, whatever. The deck will be this one. Let's move on. But we might find the need to replace that. Other than that, in green, if there's a bunch of if we find our early creatures having to defend ourselves a lot, Mammoth Growth might be a good combat trick on the defensive to board in. Blizzard Brawl might also be good if we're facing some small creatures from our opponent and we have enough snow to take advantage of it. So I guess that's more or less it. That's more or less our plan. And something to keep in mind is while playing, we should take into consideration whatever our opponent is doing, right? We should pay close attention to that. And again, before jumping into the game, thank you for everyone that joined this stream and keeps on joining the stream. It's really appreciated. Thank you for everyone that started following me. Thanks a lot for Midge, not only for actually propelling my growth on Twitch and enabling me to meet a lot of awesome people, but also for the subscription and the gifted subscription that he did just when I started the stream. So that was really fun. And yeah, thank you for everyone that is sticking around, and I hope that you're learning something. I sure am. Okay. One thing that also happens a lot, and I don't expect to happen as much in the Arena Open, is there's a lot. You play against a lot of opponents that aren't doing that much. So in Sealed, it's sometimes it might actually be worth it to play on the draw and not on the play, just because you have access to more resources. But since our deck is more centered around power level, I think we're good. Saying that, I don't really like this end. And this sort of ends, I'm more prone to mulligan than anything else. This end I'm okay. I'm okay with. Scamfar might be too much, but Ravenous Lindworm is definitely too much, right? Between it and we have an elf. Scamfar Shadow Sage can be quite good, so yeah, we'll drop that late play. Jasper a Sentinel. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, we have a fellow green player. For this turn, I don't think there's much we can do. We could play Jasper Sentinel, tap and tap to generate another mana, but we wouldn't do anything with that mana, so let's just keep on setting up. I could have attacked it before playing the creature, but with 1 mana, my opponent has nothing they can do. Damn, skipped frames? Why are you doing that? So now we have a swamp, which is great. That enables us to... We could even Scamfar Shadow Sage if we wanted. We still want to put more power on the board, or more elves. This turn I think the best play is Kama's Faithful, and we have plenty of mana to play it. So let's, just because it has lifelink and my opponent is not playing and has not played any creatures, probably they have a turn 3 play. Otherwise, it's too much. Just a Goldvine pick, that's too little. So now my Kama's Faithful would trade. This Scamfar, it's each opponent loses X life, you gain X life, so I choose 1. Okay. So this costs me all this mana, and I don't have enough mana to take advantage of anything else. I could attack, but I want to preserve my creatures. If they equip the Goldvein Pickaxe, I can still trade for my Kama's Faithful if they want. This will be a 2-3. 2-3 would not trade for their card, so that is fine. I think I'll still just add to the board, autopay. Yes. 1, 2, 3 mana. I cannot really play my other card. No attacks. No attacks. No attacks. We want the game to go a bit low. That's why we're playing this music. Oh, nice animation. Damn. That's a good card. Hexproof from Planeswalkers. Sacrifice a creature or Planeswalker. Damn, that's huge, opponent. That's huge. At least this guy has reach. It's just a bit unfortunate. I could attack, but they would not trade, of course. They are tapped out. So I don't think there's any need on attacking. Let's just, before they kill my creatures, let's drop them by 5. No attacks this turn. If they attack, they will gain 4 life, so this card is broken, of course. Well, it is what it is. We're still missing, and it's a flyer that they equip. Now they attack, they boast, make me sacrifice a creature. The thing is, if I block, I can actually kill it. I think I need to do that. Actually, playing a bunch of random rich creatures is quite nice. Do they have a way to pump it? Oh, you didn't do that. Oh, there's a bomb for you. Oops, opponent. Oops. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's attack with our creature. Oh, opponent. Yeah, I also thought they wouldn't block, but I have a Scamfar Shadow Mage. I don't want to play this card right now, of course. I could have foretold it for sure, and I should. I should have, and potentially play the land. They have 3 cards in hand. So, but they have this 4/3. They mainboarded Broken Wings, so this opponent seems to know what they're doing. Mainboarding Broken Wings, you either know what you're doing or you don't. You really don't know what you're doing. This is black-green. It's snow, so it's a good thing to include. They have 1 open white mana that might indicate Kaya's Onslaught, so I don't think I will attack in this position. One of these cards is very likely to be Kama's Faithful with Plains. The turn passed very quickly, so they don't seem to have that option on the table, so I'll actually attack. I'm relying a bit... Okay, maybe... Okay, they don't. I'm relying a bit on how fast Arena passes priority. That's a bit risky. I definitely wouldn't advise to do... I could get really wrecked there, because I wouldn't even gain life from Kama's Faithful in that spot. But I guess they learned the Eradicator's Valkyrie. So Reach seems to be helpful, stuff to deal with flyers. That's a very strong bomb. Other than that, they have an artifact, another bomb, of course. So see, that's why Limited is more about have double strike. So this guy now has double strike. It will cut me down for 8. I think next turn. It's 8 damage is a lot. So my plan is to target Shadow at the end of or before combat their turn or something. Okay, another planes. Why do you need so many planes? That's a Frostbite. I don't have green right now. Okay, sure. We have Targrit Shadow open, so playing at the end of their turn or whatever can help us, depending on our draw, because we're not in a very good position. They've drawn two broken cards. I didn't. I did not. Jesus. This is starting to not look as that great. Maybe I should have done this on my turn. Because now it looks really bad. If I block with Kama's Faithful, yeah, this doesn't look that good. I don't even gain life from it. At least we mill. Okay, this game is not looking great for us. They have a... So 3... Frostbite seems good, but we might need an additional mountain. Well, with our Jasper Sentinels we could have played it, but... If I draw a red source of mana, which I don't have many, Tergrid's Shadow, I could kill like Valkyrie and Tergrid's Shadow. No. Let's just remove the size of their board. I wanted to use this to kill both of these creatures, but they were able to keep on committing to the board. Maybe they have a Doomskar here? That's why they delayed playing cards. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. I'm still missing the mana. I'm still missing the mana. What else can we do? What else can we do? Jasper Sentinel, sure. Now they can attack for a bunch. Please! Please, red. Okay. This is what we can do. You may, I think you can submit 0 here, so. Yeah. Yep. So my cards did not align that well with my opponent's ones. Double strike. So this is 10, 13. I'll go to 6. That's way too much. I need to block it. Yep. I need more red in this deck. I think I need more red in this deck. Okay. Let us concede. Am I able to see? Oh, I can check. Exactly, it makes sense. After the game, you're able to check the exile cards from your opponent. So they had an iron verdict. Return to sideboard. So, what we want to have? Dwarven Hammer doesn't look great here. Tergrid's Shadow can look good if I'm able to take advantage of it. Let's drop a bit on that. Elven Bow, it's a fine. They have some removal, so sometimes Snakeskin Veil can be quite good. They have a bunch of flyers, so I guess this is a priority. Let's see. Wait, no. Let's see what else do we want to do. Do we want to do? Probably a Dread Rider. And they have a bunch of creatures. Blizzard Brawl is just okay-ish. I want a Mammoth Growth, maybe, on the defensive. It's a bit counterintuitive, I guess. I don't have 3 sources that often, and their creatures are bigger than mine until the late game. So I guess it will be something like this, and let's leave the hammer. It's fine. So that's the issue with having part of your fixing for a color being reliant on creatures. But I think it's fine. We have 2 of those. I want to play first, yes. Jesus, why do you do that to me, deck? I will still keep. They're playing somewhat aggro, but not that much. Let's put our tapped land first. Enable Demon Bolt if needed, but still my plan is on using this later on a good creature. Okay. Now we're talking. Now things are lining up a bit better. Lining a bit better. Jasper Sentinel. So they have their own. What do I want to do? I can play a land and foretell Demon Bolt. I think I'll play Ice Tunnel or Swamp. I will probably... Okay, let's have an attack. Maple. Thank you for... Oh, that brings me back. That brings me back. Oh. Thank you for the Titanic flute. I'm doing good, What about you? How are you? Thank you. Thank you for joining. I'm doing quite fine. And you? We're doing a sealed pool event here. Best of 3. This is game 2. We lost the first game for our opponent. So let us... No, I want to foretell. Are you smart? Okay, you're smart in foretelling it. Okay. I don't want to tip my opponent that it's a Demon Bolt. But well, it sort of gives it away. I'm glad. Thank you for joining. Let us see. Iron Verdict. Sure. Yeah, that's 1 damage. Still, this was a positive trade for me. Play our tapped land, get our life linker on the board. If I like Titanic? Well, Titanic is actually a good movie, but what I mean is, have you seen the Hey Danielle, thank you for joining as always, Danielle, and I hope to see you next time. I hope you enjoyed your time here. Another one. Jesus, our opponent's deck is just broken. I think I'll need to cast Tergrid's Shadow right now. Otherwise, I'm dead. I'll attack. Sure. I'll gain some life. I might actually Demon Bolt the flyer. No. I want to foretell this for 2 mana. Whatever. Okay, so I can take a hit. If they didn't block, I would target Shadow for sure. But now if they place something from your graveyard onto the battlefield. Oh, please do put one of those cards on the battlefield. None? Okay. The Sentinel back. The Sentinel is back. Still, it's not a real impactful card. This doesn't have lifelink or whatever, so I'm willing to take 3 damage right now. But yeah, regarding Titanic, have you actually seen the YouTube video on the guy on the Got Talent show playing flute, this song on flute. That's where this song comes from. It's so funny. The first time I saw it, I was laughing like crazy. Pass on attackers. So I guess they're trying to pump their card, so there you go. Nothing you can do, opponent? Finn, the Fangbearer. Since this only cost me 1 mana, I think I will decide on my turn. Okay, Mammoth Growth. Great, great. Perfect lining. So the thing about... Probably I shouldn't even include Mammoth Growth, because my creature count is not that high, so I cannot really rely on it. Still, I'll put some additional lands. I'm flooding now a bit. That might be a consequence of playing 18 lands. It might. Okay, this is 4 damage. I will take it. I know I get 2 poison counters, but I can kill the Finn any way I want, like at 6 poison counters or whatever. And that's fine. Do I want to kill one of their creatures? Not yet. Again, same logic. Now I have a flyer, see? I can sacrifice another creature to gain for it to gain indestructible. I don't have that many creatures. But I can play it and have Mammoth Growth open as well as Demon Bolt. I cannot really foretell it to have both available. And my Mammoth Growth right now is as good as a way to save Immerstrom Predator as I can. Yeah, I also watched Titanic. I actually have a VHS with it. Oh, sorry, opponent. Go on, do your thing. Let's save our creature. This is a bad use for our spell, but it is what it is. Now we have another flyer, which is great. And we have 2 snow on the battlefield. But yeah, I also watched Titanic. It's actually a quite well-made movie. The funniest thing is that Spielberg actually just wanted to make a dive and to see Titanic up close. And the reason that he got to do just that was, oh, okay, let's do an epic film so that I can go and see the Titanic up close. That's funny. Let us attack, I think. When it gets tapped, I do stuff, so I can exile Valkyrie. She's too strong. Hailstorm Valkyrie, and I'll still have Demon Bolt. Now I might Demon Bolt Finn, if my opponent doesn't play anything else. Oh, thank you for the sheer, Maple. Thank you, you're very kind. You're very kind. And I guess you jumped to the top, yeah. Thank you, I'm really glad. I hope that you're enjoying the stream. Whoop whoop. Oh, so good, so good. Okay. If they find themselves another one... Okay, no, I can still take another hit from it. At 6, I don't want to go farther than 6. Okay, that's a Bloodline Pretender. Angel. There's an angel coming up, so I need to save Demon Bolt. Jesus. Okay. No, 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 no. Oh, oh. There's actually a nice play in there that I could have considered. Let's start removing the angels, which is, well, it's not the best thing ever, but I could use Immersturm Predator. Okay, like and sacrifice Hailstorm Valkyrie to destroy Finn, but I think it first I should spend my Demon Bolt. I think next turn I can win. Yes, next turn I have Lethal on the air. They have Jasper Sentinel, so it's their only reach creature. I might just try to go for the win. Let's see what they do. Redain. Okay, and they play it as Redain. That is fine. Okay, I'll go to 8. And that is as far as I want to go. That's already pretty far. Let's remove their flyer. Let's remove their flyer and fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, okay. Jasper Sentinel can be a blocker. I can pump this once. So it would attack for 4. This attacks for 5. I could play it slower, like, yeah. What I'll do this turn. This is actually, I think. Let's see you win. So I have. What am I thinking about? Attacking with Hailstorm Valkyrie, pumping it, attack for 4, right? Next turn, and then if they attack with Finn, I can block with Immersturm and give it indestructible for the Death Touch, so let's do that. Yes. Now that I have another creature to sacrifice for Immersturm, I'm more than happy to do this. Do they want to block? They don't want to block. Okay. Let's see what my opponent does. Let's see if they attack. Boom, 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 boom. This is high intensity. Okay, they'll get an additional land. This is a 3/4. Doesn't have reach or anything like of the sorts. Do they attack? If they attack, they're just distracted, I would say. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Let's see. Okay. Elven Bow. Okay, now I go for the kill, I think. They only have one reach creature. They have a snow-covered plains. They cannot really do anything with this. So I'll go for the win. Decline. I don't want to pay. I want to equip on my Hailstorm Valkyrie. And now I attack with 2 5/5s. Let's do everything before combat to see if they give up. Yep. Yes. Whew. We recovered. Mammoth Growth, I'm not really happy to play cards like that. What else can we consider? Dread Rider is actually quite nice against their deck, but I already have one, and I have expensive creatures already. Okay, let's get the Elder Fang Disciple back. Okay, 1-1. Let's get into game 3. Oh, that game felt awesome. We got really the chance of getting back in the game. Of course, we played our broken card. So I guess there's that. I guess that influenced. Opponent goes first. We have another chance of drawing a land. We have 2 lands. We have an Elder Fang Disciple to play early. I think I'll keep this. I would very much prefer to have 3 sources of mana right now. I hope I don't. I'm not concerned. So, but I'm playing 18 lands again, and there's actually good reasoning to do this. I'm on the draw. I am playing 18 lands, so the chances for me to draw an additional land in the first 2 turns is actually, or 3 turns actually, it's actually pretty high. So this turn we want to make our opponent discard cards. And now they discard a bomb, and I'm like, what? What can I expect from the rest of your hand, opponent? Right? There's actually a funny story from this week's episode, or last week's episode on limited resources, of someone that discarded a broken card. They didn't have anything left on the end, but the opponent, they were both mana flooded, and he discarded that, just like, and the opponent simply scoops. Again, as they said, they are not sure if this story is factual, but it's a very good story nonetheless. It's a very good story. Perfect timing, Mapleneck. Perfect timing. So for this turn we have Kama's Faithful, for example, but we can also play this. So next turn we have a mountain to have Elderleaf Mentor on the board. Or Ezika's Chariot, most likely. I think. So if I play this, I have no play for this turn. So I don't think that's an option. I don't think that's an option while they're developing. I'm willing to trade. I could have attacked. I'm not sure if I want to block with it. So if a creature doesn't, if the creature doesn't serve to attack, it's good for blocking. Or if you aren't going to attack or block with a creature, then you should attack most likely. Okay, there goes my Kama's Faithful. Let's start the milling. Thank you. Dread Rider will be awesome. What's the issue now? I don't have a turn 4 play. I really don't want to cast Dwarven Hammer right now, since I'm close to be able to doing stuff. What happened here? They attacked. They can. Oh, okay. They tapped with Jasper Sentinel to do that. Okay, that's good. That's good. We're at 16. They're at 22. Okay, no attacks. It's just unfortunate to have to use an Elder Fang Disciple to block a Story Seeker, because it has life link and I'm not really killing it. That's just unfortunate. Sound alerts are the best. Sound alerts are the best. Okay, let's stem a bit the bleeding. I want to get into the late game. Next turn I have Ezika's Chariot. I think that's the best play. I don't have a 5th land to cast Dwarven Hammer. if I played Path to the World Tree, I don't have another play to make. So their deck is actually quite aggro. I hope I'm able to do something with this Chariot. Well, it's definitely very good at stopping our opponent. It's definitely very good. Death Touch. I am not as happy. Masked Vandal. They might still not be willing to attack, at least with all the creatures. Maybe just Sentinel. Oh, no, no, no! No! Come on! Oh, okay. No, it wouldn't lose the target if I activated it. That's just unfortunate, but still I have 4 power on the board, so that is fine. Thank you, Stevo. Thank you for lurking. It's really appreciated. Yeah. At least now I have 5 mana. With 5 mana I can do some stuff. Path to the World Tree. Put it in your hand, so not right now. Next turn I can actually Path to the World Tree and Elder Leaf Mentor, for example. I can get like the missing black land. So let's do this. No attacks. No attacks. Yeah, so next turn Path and Elder Leaf Mentor, get a swamp with this, play it. And in the turn afterwards we have Burning Rune Demon to play, Dread Rider 2, if we want to lure like a trick. Now I want to put Burning Rune Demon on the battlefield first. After, if they spend all their removal, the Dread Rider is actually quite good in the later stages of the game. Like in a board stall, I want the board to get stalled so that I can do stuff with Dread Rider, right? Now I could also play that, but I think the best play is still this. Yes, definitely. I want to unlock Burning Rune Demon. No. Oh, there are snow. So don't forget to look for the snow cards. They might be they might be hidden. They might be hidden. So I actually have black. I have all 5 colors of mana on the battlefield, which is quite funny without really trying. About the card I tried to watch on your stream and AG? What do you mean, Apple? Maple? So no attacks, no attacks, no attacks. Actually, yeah, so white, blue, black, green, red. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need just 1 additional source of mana to be able to use the second ability of Path. Oh, opponent! See, the Broken Wings is really strong. It's really strong. First pickable material. No, just kidding. Get in there, opponent. Get in there. It's fine. So they don't have creatures to use with the Resplendent Marshal. We're in a very good position now, I think. Let's get our so the thing about this card is I also want to play it as early as possible so that I get the high impactful cards as early as possible before I draw them, because that I'm maximizing the value that way. I'm getting them via another method, right? Exactly 2 cards not named that have different names. Yes, sure. Demon Bolt. So if I pick Immersturm, I really don't have anything to pair it with. I guess I could pick like a Demon Bolt and a Ravenous Lindworm. I think... No? So 2 similarly powered cards. I guess that's the name of the game. And now they need to choose. Okay, there goes the Lindworm. If I've put like the dragon, the vampire dragon and demon bolt, I would be screwed. So no attacks, no attacks. Now I have a huge flyer, 6/6. They're trapped at 4 mana. Not sure. Well, that does not influence that much. It still does sometimes. Okay, that's a land. Okay. Now. Thank you, Maple. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the support. Thank you for sharing. It's really appreciated. It's always a pleasure to have you on the stream. I really hope to see you around next time. And have a good rest of the day. So now, I'll have 7 mana. With 7 mana, I can attack and actually leave Hailstorm Valkyrie behind with enough snow mana to do stuff. So let's start attacking with this 6/6. Giving it trample would be great, so maybe I should consider putting the Dwarven Hammer on my flyer. I should have considered that. But this turn I still have a bunch of stuff that I want to do. So this is a good mana sink. Why are you doing that, Auto Tapper? So I need 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to leave two snow open. Oh, thank you, Maple. Thank you. Oh, I'm ad off. Everest the stream. Okay. Damn. I cannot really protect that. Resolve. That's just unfortunate. Still, I have my creature. No, I need to ship the turn. I need the ability to pump my Valkyrie. I need that. Okay, that was a good use for Iron Verdict. I probably should have considered that. Still, I should have gotten the hammer on my flyer. That's something interesting to consider. Sure, I guess. Okay. You actually... Okay, the sentinel that I killed. That's fine, that's fine. I can pump it once only. So considering attacks in the air, it's something. Are they able to pump Resplendent Marshal from here? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now they have 2 mana open. My opponent has awesome cards available. Just awesome cards. Okay, that's another land. It's another land. Uh, 12 foretell this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with the sentinel. I don't want to do that. No attacks. This cost me 3 to move. This leaves me Demon Bolt open on their turn, so when they equip the Sword of the Realms to an attacker, I can Demon Bolt it before it gets equipped. It's important because when the creature dies, it returns to the hand. So I cannot let that happen. I cannot let that happen. This is really a lot of grindiness value. So if I Demon Bolt, they're able to do something. This will be a 5/5. 5/5 is very strong. Oh, this is only 4 damage. Stupid Yog. Now I got a bit distracted. That was dumb. What I could have done is like block with one of my creatures or whatever and get it killed. But that was just dumb. Plain and simple. I know you get it back to your hand, but this is like a disposable spell. I don't want to take 5 damage, and they lost 2. So it ended up working okay-ish, but at that point I actually got just distracted. Now I need to put my Dread Rider and start accruing some value with it. Let's see what our draw is. Okay, that's a land. I have plenty of those. Once, twice. I could pump this twice. Attack for 9. Get them to 15. 15. But I have a good plan. They would get me to 9. No, let's put Dread Rider on the battlefield. No attacks. I don't think there's a need to add a mountain to the battlefield. My Sentinel can give me an additional mana if needed, but I really don't need. Attacks this turn. Target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-1 until the end of the turn. Okay. That is fine. Will you attack, like with Grizzle Outrider? Grindy games. Grindy. Okay. Nothing I can do. That equipment is very strong. Playing green and not having access to artifact or enchantment removal, that's not really the place I want to be. Okay, they're doing 3 damage to one of my creatures. Let's see who they pick. Yeah, they're picking them correctly, I think. I'll just throw a Champ Block at the Grizzled Bear. Yes, that resolves, and that resolves. 2 blockers. So let's actually start. I don't think this was awesome for them. Still, it was okay-ish, I guess. It was okay-ish. Masked Vandal. Yeah, sure. Oh, no. Okay, okay. It only pumps power. Jesus, I always get scared about these moments. Hey G, how are you? Were you streaming by any chance? I just ask because while I'm streaming, I'm not able to to watch anyone else essentially. Oh, what? Oh, my timer. Oh, you may have fallen asleep. My timer ran out. Okay, so I need to play it a bit faster. Again, I'm not used to play this best of 3 and having me explaining everything. So that's something to keep in mind, that this one is on me. I need to play it a bit faster. But still, the matches were quite interesting. I'm not sad. It was an interesting learning experience. As Gandhi said, and I feel like I'm repeating this a lot. So there's a quote attributed to him, which is, "I never lose. I only win, or I can only win or learn." Okay, this was a learning opportunity. Waiting on your opponent, so then they won the die roll. Okay, I'll keep this. At least I have a turn 5 play. I have a Frostbite to keep me in the early game. It's not great, definitely, but it's something. Let's play the tap land, and I need to play these games faster, I guess. If the previous games were getting pretty late, and I got distracted. I'm not used to look at the clock. So we just play our land, nothing else we can do. We still have Frostbite open in case it's needed. I really don't want to use a Frostbite in there, just because it's such a bad creature. Whatever, ship the turn. I'll take a hit with this, I think. This Kaldheim is actually quite good. So I shouldn't have let them attack. I gave them the option of boasting. I'm just thinking. Probably, okay. If they're boasting, they're not playing anything really relevant on their turn. So this turn, I need to do something. I have 4 mana, still not Dwarven Hammer in mana. So I guess on their turn, at the end of their turn or something, I will Dwarven Hammer. Or I will Frostbite, I mean. I don't have another snow. I have a Hailstorm Valkyrie. To kill Finn, that is. I should have killed their creature. Probably not. Let's hold for a bit. If I draw an additional land, I have Frostbite open. Okay. Now, deck, please collaborate with me. Please. Yep. 5/1. It's not really a blocker, which is a problem. Here I want to block. That's why this Dwarven Hammer, I might actually, after this game, I might actually get it replaced by something else. A Finn equipped with Raven Wings. That's good. Now I need an additional snow permanent. This is a bit of a dumb use for my snakeskin veil. But I feel like I should take advantage of this big creature while I can.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Why? Why mad? Sound alerts are great. Sound alerts are great. I fell asleep in the chair? Oh, Jesus. Okay, nothing I can do. So this is when the snakeskin veil should have been used. You see? That was a misplay on my part. I should have used Frostbite early, probably. Now I'm really at the mercy of whatever I draw. Jesus. Only that kind of lands? I need to do stuff deck. Well, at least there's that. I guess. I gain 4 life, but I still have 4 poison counters. Are you mad, bro? Why are you mad? It's only a game. Okay, sure. I'm more than glad in dumping this. Submit to. Now I'm glad I'm a bit mana screwed because. Oh, are you attacking, opponent? Jesus, you're really confident today on your skills. Can I get something back? I don't really want to. So now I still don't have 3 snow permanents. So I cannot yet deal 3 damage with this, which is just... I need to put like Valkyrie on the board. I would actually play Valkyrie before Predator to have Frostbite Finn. Jesus Christ. Oh, before combat? You shouldn't have done that, opponent. You shouldn't have done that. Do I want to attack, actually? No. I know I'm at 6. Probably I should. Oh, Sigma! Worm hammer him to oblivion. That was my plan, but they had that misplay. So at least I can kill that with Frostbite on my turn. If I don't draw like a snow permanent. But this Finn is like... How are you, Sigma, today? How are you? Now I'm at 8, so... Snow? No, that's not a snow. That's not a snow. I lose the game. So, nothing I can do. That's unfortunate. Maybe I should have attacked there just to see if they would block. So, things that I can do. Stuff that I can do. I was a bit screwed on black that game, which is unfortunate, definitely. They're not playing much early on. So I might drop like a Disciple for a Dread Rider. Raise the Draugr I don't want. Wither Crown. Well, it's crappy removal, but it's removal. Still, my black removal is much better. Should have attacked. Yeah, I should have attacked. I was like, I have quite some snow lands, and if I got a black source, I could have cast the Valkyrie and get an additional snow permanent. But yeah, I played the odds. I lost. That's life, I guess. I guess the deck like this looks fine. I don't have that many creatures to support Mammoth Growth. Seize the Spoils. I don't want to push green that much. I would replace like Frostbite for something like that. But they have some early creatures, so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine like this. I should have attacked. Yes. Oh, that's life. Let's go. Let's go. So I want to play first. This is a keepable land. Yes, it is. Fortel Demon Bolt or Tergris Shadow, depending on how aggro they start. I'm not sure. Maybe I can Tergris Shadow. It depends. I still need double swamp to do that. So let's see. If I draw a swamp, I might Tergris Shadow. I might foretell it. That is. Okay, that's not a swamp. So we'll delay a bit the decision. Still, this gives me two black sources of mana with the Ice Tunnel. So no shortage on black mana now. Okay, now I have four mana available. 4 mana is Hailstorm Valkyrie mana. And I think that's what I'll do. I know I still don't have an additional source of snow. I can still use Sculptor to pump Hailstorm Valkyrie. 3 colors in this meta is a pain. I did unpack a sealed and didn't play it yet. It's weird. Yeah, well, you really need to understand where your fixing lies, right? Can't I play this? I can play this. So black. Okay, I guess I need to do it manually. But yeah, it's... sometimes you play even... I played like 4 colors at some point. Or even 5 sometimes. It really depends. If you have Sculpture of Winters and the Forest enchantment that taps for an additional mana, that's very good. If you don't have that, well, it's a bit weirder. But Svala is also very good. It wins games. So I've put myself in a position where Tergrid Shadow is not as good. Still, Alpine's Meadow can help me do stuff. I think in this situation I will attack with both. They will probably just equip their creature with this. This will only be a 2/3, so it's fine. So yeah, this turn we do this. And fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I don't have a way to protect it right now. They're playing white, so they might have that spell that deals 5 damage to target tapped creature. Oh, that is fine. That is gonna be Demon Bolt the next turn. That is fine. You have 1 unspent mana. This equips for 2, so you cannot equip. You still get killed, opponent. 1 swamp. I don't think they have anything they can do here. So I will... Oh, there are no creatures to exile. Up to 1 target creature from a graveyard and put a +1/+1 counter on. Okay, I can actually not even exile something. So let's... I'm a bit scared, so let's just try it out. I could have attacked with both, to be honest. Because I could like untap the Ice Tunnel, give 2 snow mana and pump Hailstorm Valkyrie. But I just want to test the waters. Okay. It gained the counter. That is fine. So now I might just play the land. So there I could have attacked with both for sure. That's on me. That's on me. Now if I play this, I don't do much. It's still a 3/3. That can get one of my creatures back. So if they by any chance try to kill Immersed Predator, for which I can actually sacrifice another creature for, so it's fine. So I think I'm in a good position. Sure. Now you will take a Demon Bolt. Main step, Demon Bolt to the face. Every day. Every day. Let's attack with both. Actually, let's attack with Draugr too. Let's see if they block like that. Ah, they read the card. They read the card. Okay, I think this game is ours. Stupid yoke. I had lethal. I was thinking about casting Path to the World Tree. I didn't even have enough mana to do that, so that was dumb. So whatever. Yeah, that was dumb on my part. It's still a win, but I missed lethal. Amazing creatures and only 2 removal cards for white, green and black. Then I have interesting removal on red, but less interesting. Probably you should try to splash red or something. But yes, Vela's card mana fixing is really useful in this format. But sometimes it's really tricky. I was just saying previously that for 4 colors, well, maybe you need to drop on the other ones. I am really not sure. But if you want, please send like a picture or whatever in Twitter. I would gladly take a look. It might be a bit confusing. It's a bit confusing to do that, but so this end is a good end to opponent goes first. Okay, so then I'll keep. Okay, because of that I'll keep. And please draw lands. But yeah, I was saying yesterday, like I had 3 pools, 3 sets of 6. Okay, that's cool. 3 sets of 6 packs. And yeah, so the first set I built the deck in like half an hour or something, or not even that. Then I took like 2 hours. I had to stop for a bit and get back and stuff like that. I don't have a 4 mana play, but I don't have a 3 mana play, but I have a 4 mana play, so I'll play the tap land now. Yeah, but like 2 hours building the deck. It was so demanding to know what the pool was actually asking for. So yeah, that's something. That's something. Okay, they're eating me pretty hard, and I don't have red mana for this, and no way to actually get the red mana. I think Ezeka's Chariot is the play. Then I can even scam Far Shadow Sage as a good blocker. Sure. Now I can't even crew it. It's fine. Next turn I can. But my opponent is really hurting me quite badly. Bearded Days, welcome. Oh, they had a fight spell. Damn. I don't think I'm winning this game, unfortunately. How much time? 19 minutes, so I'm still good in that front. Now what can I do? If I play this, I can crew the Chariot, and I think that's my priority, to be honest. At least I can crew the Chariot. My day has been quite good, Bearded. What about you? We're enjoying a sealed pool event here on Magic Arena. We have a very interesting deck, but our opponents also do have an interesting deck. So that's a bit unfortunate. Oh, Jesus Christ. They have it all. They had a very good start now. And I didn't. I didn't. Okay, I guess I need to do what I need to do. I need to do what I need to do. They have one snow plains. Yep. Yes, 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 yes. Do it. I'm at 5 now. At least now I can jump block this. Draugr Recruiter. This gets a creature. I don't have any creatures. And I don't have enough mana. I need to gain myself some life. Playing this makes me gain some life. Like 3 life. And it's a decent blocker. I think I'll do this before putting my elf in front of their card. I'll still attack with this. No, I have no need on leaving it back. I would need to block with all 3, and they would kill 3 of my creatures, so I don't want that. It would be a 3-4-1. Okay, that's a way down. And now they attack. I need to jump block. It's not looking great for me. I can Draugr Recruiter to aim to get the Elderleaf Mentor. Oh, it got flying. It hurts. Okay. Tergrid's Shadow? Where's the land for me to be able to play this? Where's the land? I think I need to enable Tergrid's Shadow for next turn. Right? I think there's not any other way to do this. So in order to do that, I need to play Sculptor and foretells this. I could have kept Sculptor. On the other hand, it's important to have it on the battlefield because next turn I can decide on whether I want to... Okay. Kama's Faithful. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Two cards. Sure, and sure. Okay, let's do it like this. I'm not sure if this is the correct choices since the other creature would gain me 4 life, but I'm at least 2 turns away from being able to do just that. Okay, that's a land. This deals 4 damage. This deals 4 damage. 4 damage. And I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 mana. So I can cast Burning Rune Demon. But I cannot trust the auto tapper. Jesus Christ. Still, do I want to keep on jump blocking Finn? I really don't. Again, not sure about the play. Well, I'm sure that I shouldn't have played that on my turn. Well, they could have the green spell, Snakeskin Veil, exactly. Ready. But now I can do this. And start building my board. Oh, nice. Nice. Their creatures are not lining up. So I need to play fast in order to make sure that I don't lose to the clock. in a situation like this. I have 3. They have this card. I cannot forget about this. So I need to save my Demon Bolt for when they make their flyer. Okay? Just something to keep in mind. Now Burning Rune Demon. Take action, for sure. Raise. Yeah. Dwarven Hammer. Immerstorm. Demon Bolt. So I think, again, I'll put Valkyrie and Demon Bolt. I need it to be 2 cards that are on the same power level. Immerstorm, they will just put it on the graveyard. And again, if I wanted either of those 2 cards that I picked, that could be an option. Like if I really wanted the other Demon Bolt, I could have put the Immerstorm and the Demon Bolt. They would discard the Immerstorm, and I would get the Demon Bolt. That's just something to consider. I still think that, I still think that the possibility of drawing that spell is more relevant. Oh, they did not pay? Why? Okay. They want to equip. Fuck. And I'm sorry for the cursing, but... That felt bad. Oh. So close. They had to give the creature menace. We were in a great position there. Their top deck was broken. 0 wins. Well, still, I believe that our deck was quite interesting. The deck building experience was quite nice. Thinking about sideboarding was very, very helpful. That loss. Jesus. That's something that I should have considered, actually. I've been noticing that in a lot of my games when reviewing them. Like, it's very important to take into account, like before passing the turn or attacking with your creatures, take into account or assume that your opponent has a removal spell for one of your creatures, and think about what could happen, right? Think about what could happen out of that exchange. Still, our deck was nice in some aspects, a bit weird in others. Jasper Sentinel is interesting, but it's not the best thing ever, definitely. We had some really good cards, but I think our deck, like Dwarven Hammer, wasn't doing that much up until the point that I think about putting the hammer on one of my flyers. Oh, that match, they felt so close. They felt so close. But okay, let's claim the prize. Let's end to close before closing the stream. Oh, there they are. Banned historic cards, Uro and Omnath. Okay, Uro we knew about. Omnath, I guess, was also assumed. 13. Furious Retribution. So this card is very good, of course. 4 mana, create a 4/4 Angel Warrior, Vigilance, whatever. And then it's only things on top of that. It's very good. It's broken. Rise of the Dreadmarn. Again, since the Foretell cast... by the way, if you don't know, typically at the end of the stream, I open up some packs, I review just the rares, because it's those are the cards that we see the least when drafting. So Rise of the Dreadmarn creates X 2/2 black zombie berserkers. This is the number of non-token creatures that died, so token generators don't really work that well with this, but still, if you make a bunch of exchanges, like even when blocking your opponent, this only costs you 1 mana, right? So it's great, and it's good like with that touch giving and things like that. It's a high pick. It's not the greatest pick ever. Sigrid, this card just reads very, very good. Its body, it's a bit weak. 2 toughness is not that strong. Still, flash, first strike, you can ambush 1 creature like this and exile another one. So this card can be a 3 for 1 without trying that much. Oh, I have the open X10. Oh, damn, I should have clicked that to be faster. Rally the ranks. Again, it's an okay-ish card. I would think C+. If you're playing white and not splashing white, typically these cards actually do something. You might end up with a bunch of warriors, or you might end up with a bunch of birds, maybe clerics, but it's not the best thing ever. Agar is quite good. Reflections of Litiara, it's just an awkward card. I think, well, it works better in Simic because of a few things. Like you should have either combat tricks or yeah, either combat tricks, so like pump spells and or of the sorts. And I guess things similar to that, but yeah, it's not the best thing ever because it's a spell. It needs to be a spell. It's not an ability, a spell or ability, right? Arni Broken Brow is actually quite nice. It essentially scales quite well with the rest of your creatures. Plus, if you manage to have trample or whatever, it's good. Hasty creatures are very useful in the format. Scamfar Avenger. This is really nice because on an elf stack, because you'll be drawing a bunch of cards out of it. You lose some life, but if you're doing the aggro plan, or at least not as control-ish plan, okay, these cards are always nice to get. It helps us building the elves deck that the AG is constantly mentioning. Yorn. Well, Yorn, if you're heavy snow, this card is great, right? Still, when it attacks, so it needs to attack and not die. So it's a bit tricky. I would think it's more of a reward, and I forgot to review really the spear side. Old Growth Troll, this is first pickable. It's a recurring 4/4 troll, essentially. So it's great. I don't think I need to explain that. Cosmos Charger. It has flash and flying. It's 4 mana for a 3/3 flying body, so that's already cool. If you happen to play blue, you'll typically end up playing a bunch of foretell spells either way. This can be actually cast on turn 3 at the end of the opponent's turn, like ambushing their attack and having a 3/3 flyer on your 4th turn. So it's awesome in that sense. Demon Bolt. Furious Retribution, we already saw one of these. Immersturn Predator, we played with one of those. So, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Thank you for everyone that joined us today. It was really, really great. It was a great session, really. And even though we're facing some skipped frames for some reason, not sure why, but but either way, I'll take a look into that offline. I think even our deck was quite interesting, and our matches were quite close on our first game. And the issue with best of 3 is after 2 losses you're out, and as you saw, the clock matters. If your games in Kaldheim will be a bit grindy, so pay attention to the clock. The second game that we lost, it was really we were turning the game around. I shouldn't have attacked there. I should have considered what if my opponent has removal or whatever, like Manus was a sort of removal for my big chunky guy. So that's something to consider. And yeah, I hope everyone learned something today. I sure did. And I really hope to see you around next stream. In the meantime, you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram. I'm also active on my Discord channel, so feel free to join the invite available in the About section. I'll also post this on YouTube, this video, like in 2 days time, because of the 24 hours thing. And yeah, see you next time. For now, let's see, who shall we raid? Who shall we raid? Let's see who else is playing. Come on. Come on. Let's find someone. Damn, Twitch is really heavy on my machine. Not sure what's going on. Let me just double check. Advanced. Dynamically change bitrate. I should have that active. Okay, let's see. Detroit. Oh. Let's raid the mythic Midge. Let's raid Midge. So, please, everyone. I already said this at the start of the stream, but everyone on the stream, please make sure to give to give a warm welcome when you join Midge's stream. He's truly great. He's playing Midgard, which is also a kind of a card game which has well a more a friendlier economy. It has also a bunch of interesting mechanics. He has been gaining a lot of experience on that game and gaining some notoriety in there. So make sure to give him a warm welcome. And once you join it, make sure also to refresh the page so that essentially you count towards his viewers, okay? See you next time.